The Black Swan, The Impact of the Highly Improbable, by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. This is a book summary. For centuries, the entire old world was convinced all swans were white, not because they were arrogant, but because that's all they had ever seen. Every lake, every river, every birdwatcher's journal, white swans. It became a truth, not because it was proven, but because it had never been disproven. And then one day, explorers reached the uncharted shores of Australia, and there it was, a black swan, real, alive, beautiful, and utterly impossible according to everything people thought they knew. That one bird didn't just ruffle feathers. It wrecked a worldview. One sighting shattered millennia of certainty. That's the power of a single improbable event. A ripple that becomes a tidal wave in how we understand the world. And that right there is the soul of Nassim Nicholas Taleb's groundbreaking book, The Black Swan, The Impact of the Highly Improbable. A book not about birds, but about blind spots. About the lies we unknowingly tell ourselves to feel safe. It's a warning disguised as philosophy. A slap wrapped in storytelling. You didn't see the pandemic coming. Neither did the world's brightest minds. You didn't forecast the global market collapse, or the overnight explosion of Bitcoin, or the kid in his bedroom becoming more famous than Hollywood royalty. These are the events that shape history, not with a whisper but with a bang. And yet, they come out of nowhere. Black swans share three chilling traits. 1. They are complete outliers. Off the map, beyond your radar. 2. They cause massive, sometimes irreversible, impact. 3. And here's the real twist. We always explain them after the fact, as if they were obvious. Hindsight, Taleb says, is the ultimate illusion. We stitch together stories to make chaos feel like it had a plan. But deep down, we're flying blind. Now imagine being that turkey. Every single day someone brings you food. You're pampered. Life is good. You've built a worldview on this kindness. You believe the farmer loves you. You believe tomorrow will be like today. Until one day, it isn't. That's what Taleb calls the turkey problem. You confuse the absence of evidence with evidence of absence. You assume safety because nothing bad has happened, yet. But Thanksgiving always comes. And it doesn't just come for turkeys. We live in a world that worships predictability, that rewards certainty, that builds models, forecasts, and 10-year plans like clockwork. But here's the black swan's whisper in your ear. The world isn't a clock. It's a casino. It's a jungle. It's a storm hiding behind a calm sky. The biggest events in your life, the ones that will define your career, your relationships, your legacy, they won't follow a script. They won't knock politely. They will explode onto your timeline without warning. Rare, random, and ruinous or revolutionary. This is what an expert looks like. Polished, persuasive, armed with data, acronyms, and complex formulas. He speaks in probabilities, throws around words like volatility clustering and risk-adjusted returns. And for a moment, he makes you believe the future is just a formula waiting to be solved. Experts? Taleb says they're mostly just storytellers in suits. Their real skill? Not foresight, but confidence. They spin tales disguised as predictions, draped in statistical clothing. They dazzle us with spreadsheets, but when a black swan flies in, all their numbers turn to dust. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Statistical models fail. Predictions fail. Forecasts fail. And life? It's not a neat little dice roll. It's Russian roulette with an unknown number of bullets and no reset button. Here's the kicker. Everything that truly matters, political revolutions, market crashes, global pandemics, the birth of the internet, the people we fall in love with, none of it was predicted. Not by experts, not by governments, not by anyone. These were black swans, unthinkable until they happened, and world-changing once they did. And yet, we build 5-year plans, we trust economic forecasts, We base policies, careers, and lives on the illusion that we can map the future like a train schedule. But reality doesn't run on time. It crashes through the walls of expectation. And the scary part? We keep making the same mistake. So what's the answer? Taleb doesn't tell us to become prophets. He tells us to stop pretending to be. Don't try to predict the next Black Swan. You won't. Instead, design your life like a trap for luck. Tinker constantly. Expose yourself to randomness. Use the barbell strategy. Keep 85 to 90% of your life ultra safe, boring even, and swing for the fences with the remaining 10 to 15%. Think of it like this. Put most of your eggs in a titanium box and then toss a few into the wildest basket you can find. One of those may hatch into something game-changing. The real game isn't prediction, it's positioning. Don't chase certainty. Build resilience. And when fortune knocks, be ready to throw the door wide open. The Black Swan doesn't ask for permission. But if you stop trying to forecast it and start living in a way that welcomes the improbable, you just might ride its wings to places no model could ever predict. Read books are far less valuable than unread ones. Nassim Nicholas Taleb. We live in a world obsessed with expertise. We flaunt diplomas. We frame certifications. We boast about the books we've finished, the courses we've aced. But Taleb flips that on its head with one simple, radical idea: the anti-library. It's not the books you've read that matter most. It's the ones you haven't. The unread, the unknown, the uncomfortable. That's where the real power lies. Because what you haven't read is a mirror, a reminder of your ignorance. And that humility, that's not weakness. That's your greatest shield. Your silent superpower in a world brimming with noise. The anti-library humbles you. It whispers, you don't know as much as you think. It prepares you for what Taleb calls the triplet of opacity. The illusion of understanding, the retrospective distortion, and the overvaluation of facts. It's not a place of answers, it's a training ground for questions. The Black Swan isn't just a book. It's a worldview. A sharp, often uncomfortable lens that shows us how fragile our predictions are, how blind we can be to the improbable, and how dangerous it is to confuse what's visible with what matters. It's a call to stop playing the wrong game, to stop pretending we can forecast every storm. Instead, Taleb invites us to build sails for chaos, to become resilient in the face of randomness, to dance with the unknown, not deny it. So the question isn't, can you predict the future? The question is, when the unimaginable arrives, will you be ready to adapt? Smash that like button if a black swan ever crashed into your life and changed everything. Subscribe for more mind-expanding insights. And remember, stay skeptical, stay curious, and keep your eyes open for the birds no one else believes exist.